Okay, so if we can just talk a little bit about attitudes. I mean, I know from speaking to Colin that his attitude towards school has become a bit more positive over the past 6 months, which is really positive. I just wanted to see how you found that at school, really. Has that reflected in school?
Yes, I think so. I think there's a number of reasons. I think the fact that he's now in year 10 and he's following GCSE courses and everything seems a little bit more serious, and he is aware of where he is, and he's made, through his learning mentor, has been made aware of exactly how far he needs to go. I think it's sort of made him realise that he's got to work a bit harder, take life and school a little bit more seriously. But that's easier said than done, and so there were times, and there are still sort of ongoing times where he needs to continue to manage his behaviour, and we need to manage that as well. And we've got sort of timeout cards, and we've got people he can go and speak to, and we've got a mentoring programme that puts that and supports him with that. It seems to be working, but it's not perfect.
Good. Has he said anything to you, Linda, around his attitudes towards school, or maybe what he wants to do in the future?
He's getting a little bit worried because he realises he's getting older and he's not quite where he should be. I'm probably a little bit concerned about perhaps some of the friendships he has in school and how this affects. How do you find this in day to day in his lessons and that? Is he still
absolutely? It's a fine balance, isn't it?
Playing
Because
up, or
he wants
is he
to
calm down more in lessons, or?
Absolutely. I mean, there are some negative influences, and he's vulnerable and susceptible, and can get taken through that. And to a certain extent, he needs to be given the skills to sort of make the right choices at the right time. And I think in his own time, in his free time, I think there needs to be a certain freedom. I wouldn't want to restrict who he is friends with. I think it's the way that he deals with that in lessons, and there are. Where a lesson is less successful, and where there's been less success in the past, it has been around friendship issues and social issues, where they've been playing up to an audience, playing to the gallery, and there's been that kind of issue, where we as a school have a responsibility to manage that ourselves, and we have systems in place and ways of dealing with that. That can be through breaking the groups up.
As time is ticking on, can we not sort of, if there was a particular problem in a particular lesson, could we not move into another class doing the same lesson sort of things that we
the hotspots?
I mean, are there any particular lessons that have been identified as really troublesome?
We have looked at that and have moved things around. I mean, there is a general movement at certain points of any GCSE course, and in maths we did that to make sure that, because that was where things were starting to go quite badly wrong at the start. I mean, it's always going to be that case. If something leads to a fixed term exclusion, and something has gone very wrong, so we did have to look at that, and there's been a slight move. That Colin has not moved groups, but those groups have been sort of moved around. And I've been in, I've seen that lesson, and it looks a lot more positive than it was, and the results are improved, and Colin's attainment is going in the right direction.